In every moment, you choose who you want to be and how you want to live your life. It's your ultimate power and your inescapable responsibility. You are the master of your reality. It doesn't always feel that way, though. Too often, we believe the awful fictions of our fears. We believe our misguided assumptions and faulty logic. We surrender to our self-limitations. We misperceive our luck, our success, our strengths, our weaknesses. We perpetuate our vanities and our insecurities. And we fail to listen to each other and to our own hearts. How can we take control, creating the lives we want with awareness and accountability? That's the question we'll explore in this interview series, Mastering Your Reality. We'll consider the question with remarkable people who clearly have a lot to teach us on the subject. Today's guest is such an individual. Adrianne Haslet Davis is a professional ballroom dancer and a Fortune 500 level corporate manager. In 2013, she lost her leg in the senseless terrorist bombing of the Boston Marathon. Adrianne didn't miss a beat. As she says, and this is a direct quote, "You realize what kind of life you lived, and that flashes before you. And then you realize what kind of life you want to live after." Adrianne, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here and an honor to speak with you.
Excellent. Thank you. So I want to dive right in and ask you about anger. Anger is a destructive emotion in our lives that can often distort our reality. I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm going to guess that you confronted anger.
Just a little, as you would assume correctly. Yes, anger is still something I grapple with, and I believe in the new normal, and I can kind of explain that as far as, not believing that you have this, I don't believe in the word recovered, so I believe that the end is just the font of a Disney movie. So I believe that you're in this new normal, and my new normal has to do with a lot of different emotions, but one of those emotions that's been the most difficult for me to grapple with, because I was the person that let things roll off my back so easily prior to those terrorist attacks, that anger is a new one for me, and I've grappled with it, and I'm still struggling with it. I can tell you it's getting better, but I feel anger still, and there are days that go by that I don't feel any, but the days that I do, it's tough. It is a tough emotion. It's almost a physical feeling of feeling like you have something that you need to get out. I took up boxing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And it's just as an outlet, it's a safe outlet that, I'm not punching anybody, I'm sparring, but I don't have the guns to do that. I'm a tiny little ballroom dancer, but I found that really helped me, and I think it's important, as you would say, and I have your book here. I'm holding it up. Thank you for sending it. I'm diving right in, but as I think you would say, you have to find those outlets for it, and find places to put it, because it can be completely debilitating.
Yeah. Now, in my experience, anger is something that really kind of takes us away from the feeling of sort of empowerment or control over our own reality, over every moment, and kind of makes you feel more of a victim, one who is acted upon.
Yes.
Do you have any sort of concrete lessons or ideas to share, maybe with folks watching, about how to kind of get out of that mode?
I really struggled with the victim word. I really struggled with it. I didn't like it. I felt like that was the person whose name I will never mention, or sorry, excuse of a human, whose name I will never mention. I felt like that was them still having a hold on me, a physical hold on me, and putting me in this title of victim. So I really believe, and I came up with a quote that I've lived by since almost the very beginning, I'd say a couple months in, and that is, I am not a victim defined by what happened in my life. I'm a survivor by how I lived my life. And I think when you look at it in that way, you can think of, yes, I had this happen to me, but I'm going to define my life by what I'm doing to live it. And I think that that's really important to identify with that. And being a victim really puts you in this place of feeling sorry for yourself and sitting in the fetal position a little bit longer than we allow ourselves to and should allow ourselves to on days when it's hard. And I think that we need to, we as a society need to really realize that, you can be trapped in your own body and trapped in your own thoughts if you put yourself there.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I wonder, so you're obviously someone with a very sort of proactive, positive, sort of self-aware, self-accountable view. Do you feel that you were that way before this happened? Did it change?
I think it did change a little. I would be lying if I said this hasn't changed me, obviously, but I think everyone would know that even if I said no. But I was that person before. My family would say, you're going to get through. If anyone's going to get through this, you're going to get through this. Like if anyone in this family had this happen to them, you're the one that is going to make it through. And my Superman, otherwise known as my surgeon, had said to me early on, which really defined how I lived my life, was because I thought I don't even own a television. And I thought, my gosh, I'm going to be sitting in front of the television and eating Cheetos for the rest of my life. I can't believe this has happened. And he looked at me and he said, I can't promise your life will be the same, but it does not have to be bad. And I really live by that. And I think that is something that has really defined me. And I don't think that I'm much different than before. I was feisty before. I was a go-getter before. I like feisty. My mother might call it stubborn. But, I think as you said at the beginning, when I said you realize what kind of life you led before, and that flashes before you, and you think of the life that you want to live after, and measuring those two things and putting them next to each other and looking at them, I wanted to keep advocating for myself, but things become so much clearer when you're put in this sort of adversity, and things just become more clear. And I think everything, I don't want to say it changed me. I think it zeroed in on what was important, what I needed to do, what I wanted to do. It certainly made time a more precious commodity in my life.
Yes, that's interesting because for me, definitely going blind, the process of going blind sort of quite literally showed me, I literally saw all sorts of things about how our mind works, and it really was this proverbial insight. What I often hear from folks, what they ask me is, how is this relevant in my life? How do you explain this to me, barring some kind of major adversity like blindness, or in your case, obviously this awful terrorist attack? If you could go back to sort of the before version of you, how would you maybe explain or convey some of the insights that you have now?
Yeah, the before me was much more vain. I was a perfectionist. I was a professional ballroom dancer. I still am. I'm happy to be back to dancing.
I got to interrupt you. I got to interrupt you for a second. Far from your life being bad after, am I right that you won your first competition back?
I won my first competition back. Yeah, after losing my left leg below the knee immediately at the sidewalk. And having a giant gash in my right thigh where they found a lot of the pressure cooker labels.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, seriously. I won my first competition back. So I'd say the before me was more vain and, was totally somewhat, somehow okay with standing in front of a group of people in a feathered bikini, being judged on exactly how you look and how you moved your feet and how you moved your hips and arms and all of that. I made it up to third in the world, and I was very proud of that. But I was always searching for this thing that was, I thought, unattainable, which was first and number one in the world. And I was searching for that, and I was never satisfied with what I was satisfied. I was proud of myself. I said at the age of 5 I would become Ginger Rogers, but and I was a professional ballroom dancer. It's hard to be a professional artist and live in Boston and survive. And
sure.
But
and eat.
I would say the before me was really focused on this unattainable goal, or this outlandish goal. And now when I won my first competition back, I didn't go in to win. I think really the reason I won was because I wasn't, this sounds silly, but I wasn't caring whether I won or lost. I was just excited to be back out on the competition floor. So I had this cheesy grin on my face and was just giving it my all and having fun. And then I exited the dance floor and I thought, I did my best. How lucky am I to be able to get out here, instead of running through all those things in your mind of, oh, how did I do? Where did I place? Or what coach did that person have? Or and running through all those things. And then I won. And when you stop kind of caring about being perfect, you appreciate every moment. It's a sort of a rambling answer, but
no, it's a great answer. It's that being present in experiencing the journey as opposed to an obsessive focus on the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I was crying before I hit the floor. I cried on the floor. I cried after, and then when I won, I was just shocked. My partner was in the restroom, and I had to wait for him to come out to accept the trophy. I was like, have a little faith, come on. But
now, did you attend most of the trial?
I attended I attended one day beforehand just to get my bearings, so it wouldn't be as much of a shocker. And then I testified in the sentencing hearing. It was one of the proudest days of my life.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. I stopped and stood right in front of him, and the security didn't hold me back. I just wondered if he was scared, and I finally got my moment, and that was it. I was within striking distance, but I thought I looked better in ballroom dresses than jail stripes. So I didn't take it.
Yeah. I was going to say, you didn't practice your boxing skills.
Right, exactly. The Boston PD jokingly said that they probably wouldn't have arrested me, but I didn't want to take a chance.
Probably the right call. So what's next? Am I right that you're working on a book?
I am working on a book. I'm really excited about it. As you know, it goes, gosh, you pour your heart and soul into it, and it's hard to let it go and send it off. And I am working on a book, and it will answer a lot of questions without giving too much away. It will answer a lot of questions on what made me get up and, or sort of up, at least crawl onto my stomach and fight a little harder on that sidewalk. And a lot about my past and my family and being adopted and how that greatly affected me on the sidewalk that day. And every reporter who's ever asked me, what was your first thought? I hesitantly left out the first one and gave the second one. So chapter 1, paragraph 1 will answer that question.
It's the real answer, huh?
Yeah.
Well, excellent.
Yeah.
I know that I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
You are definitely a master of your reality and a great
Thank
example
you.
for all of us. So thank you for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it.
Isaac, I could talk to you for hours. I'm sure people say that to you. And I am diving into this book. It is absolutely incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled to read it, and it's so insightful, and I appreciate your perspective. We share a lot of similarities, I know, as we've talked about, but I look forward to hearing about your success and cheering you on.
Thank you, Adrianne. I feel the same way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Isaac. It's been a pleasure always.
Awesome.